welcome to some more Gmod mods, add-ons, whatever you want to call them. So, last time I went through, a good amount of, or last time I recorded, I went through a good amount of cars, and technically I already went through a good amount of what's here today, or here right now. But there was, like usual, recording problems. I mean, actually it was more like storage problems. But we shouldn't really have problems with that now, considering that, like, just before I recorded the last section, I recorded a huge video and I had, there's other stuff. It's gone now. We should be able to do a significant amount of these before we have another problem like that. So, let's get into this, considering that most of these are, well, all these are GTA related cars. So, let's get into it. So, of course, first we have the armored Karuma. Karuma. From GTA 5, which is what most of these are from. And this one is from, it is from the DLC, or the new-ish heist DLC, where we have all the armored cars and that type of thing. Although there seem to be some issues with this add-on with all the GTA 5 cars. The wheels don't seem to work. It was working significantly better than this when I tried it last time, but it was still very slidey around like it is now. But now it seems to have the wheels being stuck a lot. So, So here's the Zia Snow right there. And this one is basically just some sort of car from North Yankton. I don't know exactly if you could, actually drive it or not. Well, I mean, I know you drive a car, but I don't think it's this. I think it's something different. But I mean, it seems kind of weird that, you put something like this in a mod if it wasn't, like, in the slightest bit important. So now we have the classic bifida. Classic, which is in most of the GTA games. Of course, it makes a return. It's just weird flashing wheels. I don't know why, but like this mod didn't seem to work out the greatest, if I'm honest, because a lot of the cars are very slidey and they a lot of slidey and very they just don't work as well as they probably should be. But next we have the Blazer. I believe it's a new addition to GTA 5. Although of course you're not supposed to be sitting like that. Yeah. But a lot of if you do it quick enough, a lot of the current the wheels will kind of end up on the sides. So that's not supposed to happen. Yeah. That's why it's Gmod is kind of a funny game in that way, that it just like barely works. So, is that it has a lot of issues with modeling, but I mean, people do their best to make things that look just like they do in other situations. I mean I haven't exactly played GTA in a while, but I mean this looks a lot like a car that would be in GTA 5. So we have the Bodhi, which is Trevor's car. Trevor's big game. Which it just kind of exists. It's not really that interesting of a vehicle. It's not that great as well. So it's like a truck that doesn't really work off-road. In other words, we have the Brawler right here, the coil Brawler, which I don't know exactly what to compare this to in terms of real-life cars, but you can always look on the internet what car this is in real life. But it's pretty cool. It's sort of a off-roady type car. It sort of has these off-road type wheels, and it's very high off the ground for what looks to be a sports car, that type of thing. Now we have the Buccaneer, sort of a sort of classic muscle type car. You know, it's one of those type of things, kind of like a Cadillac or something like that. But, you know, it's a Buccaneer, whatever that's supposed to mean. Yeah, this is all sorts of weird. Yeah. All right, so next we have one of the supercars in the game, the Cheetah. Again, I don't really know what it's based on. I mean, you can probably make some assumptions. It's just the spoiler on the back isn't really. It's not the same as literally. It's different from every single real sports car. So it'd have to be based on what the rest of it is like. You know, I mean. Whatever. But I mean, it's pretty good. Okay. Come on. Oh god. Okay, so now we have the Coquette 2. Apparently, I don't know why it's 2, but there you go. So this is a sort of classic, or based off of a classic Corvette. I mean, that's completely obvious. I mean, it literally says it right there. It's like 2 letters off, and then it just looks like one. Although the clipping into the ground is not something that a regular Corvette does, which is not really expected. But yeah, so it's not bad. I mean, if it wasn't clipping into the ground, it'd be much better. Yeah, I think a lot of these cars, like act or perform or whatever differently depending on what map you're in and what is used to sort of make the map. Because yeah, this map seems like to have the cars put to the ground and all sorts of other stuff. But yeah, like they seem to perform different depending on what map you're in. Because I've had one of these cars specifically, which I'll get to later, do some weird stuff on some of the maps. Like, I don't exactly remember what it is, because it was a while ago, but it was just pretty ridiculous, which I'll, again, get into. So that was the Duke of Death. Obviously, I didn't explain it, but it's sort of like a armored version, possibly quicker version of the Duke right here, which is a sort of classic, like, Dodge Charger type thing. I don't know, I don't remember, like, doing this whole, like, it's clipping into the ground thing when I was testing the other cars. You can probably look in the other video to see, in the previous videos to see if that's a thing, but I don't remember doing this. I mean, I guess it could have, but I don't remember doing it with, like, when I was testing these cars before either. Which is weird, considering it's only been, like, a couple days, and it shouldn't have, like, broken everything. This is the Elegy. I don't know necessarily what to compare this to, but, I mean, you can probably figure something out. I mean, I might say, like, a GTR or something, but that must be wrong. I don't know. Again, it's, with these cars, it's like, alright, if you don't know it for sure, then just look up what all the cars actually are. Because there's a lot of them that, I mean, it's a thing, a lot of, like, cars in games, okay. They're based off of, not real ones. So here we have the Entity XF, which, just looking at it, you can basically tell it's based on a little bit of a, like, mid-2000s Koenigsegg, like the CCX or something like that. Just because, it's just of how it looks, and also, like, the name specifically right there, which is exactly where it says CCX on the Koenigsegg, so, okay. Come on! Keep dying to literally all the cars. Okay, so we have this one, the Frankenstein right here, which, I mean, it's not the greatest of things whatsoever. But, it exists. It sort of seems like a modified version of one of the cars a little bit later, but it's not that great. It's kind of like one of the okay. Come on, one of the like a little bit closer to like a rat rod, something like that. But alright, so this is the I don't know why, but it's the HD Bodhi, and I don't know why, because it's not necessarily an HD, but I don't know. I don't really know what the point of it is. I don't know if it's even an actual thing. GTA just wanted to like remake it or something. I don't know. But you know, it's basically just the Bodhi again. I just injured myself again. Alright, so here we have the Roosevelt, which seems to be sort of like what the Frankenstein is, but you know, just like a regular car. I mean, it looks very similar. I think it is basically the same thing, but just a lot of parts in it are completely changed, like how like the wheels are changed, or the rims more specifically, and like, you know, those like spare wheels right there are gotten rid of and all that. But you know, basically just a sort of like 1940s era car. It's not that great. That's kind of the point of it. But I believe you can in the game hang on to the sides of it, so. I mean, it's not really too surprising, but it's like, whatever. There's much better cars that you can get, so. Alright, we are on to the Sandking XL. Exactly. So, this is a ginormous truck that is lifted super high in the air, but with not really any bigger tires than normal, but I don't know if it even fit bigger tires. And it does like to flip a lot. Okay, I'm gonna hit myself. Okay. So, this is the car that I was talking about earlier when I said that it was the one that did all sorts of weird things. So, I don't exactly remember. I'm pretty sure it did all sorts of weird stuff where like the wheels like wouldn't stay correctly, and I don't know. I mean, it could have been because of the map. It could also have been because like they possibly updated the mod, because it just seemed like such a big problem that other people would like notice it, and I believe it happened on multiple maps. I don't exactly remember, but it was kind of a pain to deal with because I really liked using it, and I was trying to do something. Oh yeah, this is Space Doctor, by the way. It's really stupid. But like most of the cars in this game, if it has a rocket booster on it, it doesn't actually get used. If you press the shift, it'll boost. But I mean, like, you know, it's like I was trying to do something to sort of just spend some time on a day, which was involving like using this like river in a map and crossing over it, or seeing what like vehicles I could find that could like go over it, you know, without like drowning and dying. And I was trying to use that vehicle because I figured, oh yeah, it would probably have worked if it didn't like completely bug out. So this is the Stockade, whatever it is, there it is. And it is the general car that's used by like some of the random, I don't know exactly what it's used by, but I know it's used by like the bank. Come on. This is used by like the bank to like transfer money around, but you also find them randomly, and then you just gather random amounts of money, or you break them open, then you get what money's inside, and you know it's like a heist thing. I don't exactly know. So here we have the Sultan RS, which is a very sort of like modified. It's a modified version of probably some other car. It's like a rally type car, but it's like a rally racer basically, because it looks like something that you use for like a rally race, but it's also like, it looks like something that you try to like, you know, make like track yourself. It's like something you try to like, you know, do some like track racing in, sort of. Okay, and then we have the T20, the Progen T20, if I remember right. I don't exactly know if it says that anywhere, but it's the T20. This is another one of these supercars. I don't exactly know what it's based on. Possibly, oh yeah, I would say McLaren. But it's I'm not sure it's really that different from any other supercars in this. But I mean, you know, this isn't meant to be like GTA where it's, you know, super correct and all that. So this is what is what is lovingly called the Tailgater, and by the logo, it's meant to be an Audi. So also has a nice drink in there. Let's see if we can see that. There it is. But yeah, it's kind of a regular, four-door sedan. It doesn't really have anything special to it. I mean, of course, it's slippy and slidey all around like every other car is in this game, or every other car in this mod. Most of the cars don't slip and slide around. So now we're on to the second side, which is the first time we had to use this because I had to add so many cars in to make up for the next episode, where there's also going to be so many cars. So we have the trophy truck, which is, I believe, another one that was kind of having some of the issues, just like the Sand King over there. But why? What are you doing? What the fucking what? Come on! Yay! Okay. Didn't want that to happen, but it happened. And it's not. I don't know. Whatever. So we're with the trophy truck. It's I mean it's relatively cool. I think it's probably definitely one of the better sort of off-roady type cars in this. Although I'm not sure that actually matters, like it would in an actual racing game. But it's a trophy truck. I think, like I said, I think this one is also sort of having some problem, or had some problems like that, but it may have just been a map thing, like I said. Alright, so now we have the X80, which, I mean, is like one of those concept cars, but also looks sort of like a Ford GT because of the sort of like open areas in the back like that, and just in general how it looks. I mean, that's basically what I can say. It doesn't have all the marks of like a 2016 Ford GT, but it's sort of similar, I guess. It's not a good thing, but it is possibly one of the fastest cars in the mod. But whatever. So now we have the last car in this mod, which is the ZType, which I mean, pretty cool looking. It's one of the cars you'll probably see a lot of people. If you watch people do races in GTA, you'll probably see them using this. I mean, sometimes I guess, but it's probably one of the better cars in the game. That's not a supercar, but it's kind of exists. I mean, it's pretty quick. But I'm just gonna leave that over here. I'm done with that. So now we're on to some of the GTA Vice City cars. Now, if I can manage to, these will all be in one episode. However, I decided to put all the bikes, which I believe these are all from the same mod, like a GTA Vice City vehicles mod or something like that. But, I decided to put the bikes in this episode. So, of course, we first have the Angel, which we already saw when looking at the GTA, or when looking at the regular bikes from a little bit above, from a couple episodes ago, I think. But this is the Vice City version. It's also not very good, but, this is, like, set in the 1960s or something like that, so, it's not meant to be that great. We also have the Faggio, which is a recurring bike in the GTA series. Not really surprising, but, it exists. It's a moped, it's not that great. It also seemed to be not that great at turning, but I mean, that's not really too surprising. We also have another one, the Freeway, which I don't actually know if that was one of the bikes from before. I don't actually think so. I think it's actually just, I think it was one that was kind of like not included in that mod, but of course it's not really that. It's not that great. A lot of the cars in this mod seem to be very slow and not that great. We also have the the PCJ 600, which is probably in a way it's the quickest bike, another way it's not. But it's not that quick. It's pretty bad. But we also have the police version of that bike in case you didn't get enough of it. But yeah, I mean, it's probably one of the fastest accelerating bikes that we have in this section, but I mean, it's really nothing. It's still very slow compared to some of the other stuff we can have. We also have the Pizza Boy, which is basically just a Faggio, but with, you know, a pizza box in the back of it, and some, like, pizza-shaped things on the wheel things. Yeah, it's just another moped. This one is possibly the most interesting one, which is the Sanchez, the dirt bike of GTA. And it's not quick whatsoever, but I mean, in theory, it's best on bumps and off-road, but, you know, who really cares? So, that is the end of this episode of you know, just a bunch of Gmod stuff. So, my best in each section, so in the bikes down here, I'd have to go with, I guess, the PCJ 600. And in the GTA 5 section, I'd probably have to go with, I don't know, I would say, like, I mean, there's a couple I could say. I mean, I could possibly say, like, the Sand King, the trophy truck, maybe, like, the T20, because it's probably one of the coolest looking cars in the game, or maybe just like the X80. I mean, that's probably a little bit boring, but yeah, probably not the X80. I don't know. One of those three, and then of course one of those three would also be the best of the episode, because the bikes are not standing up to most of these cars, even though they slide around everywhere. But yeah, that is it for now. Next time we will come back with this ridiculous section of Vice City cars. Oh no.